Welcome back. Why did you decide to go into politics?
Well, I wouldn't say it was a conscious or deliberate decision. It was just something I felt I had a natural flair for. Now, this might sound cliche, you know, when you say you want to contribute your own quota, but that's actually what I wanted to do, and I still intend to do. Again, it sounds like a cliche, but that was what motivated and propelled me.
Now, you were a lawyer practicing in the States, and you left to come and join politics in Nigeria. Was it that your practice wasn't that successful?
No, I actually had a good practice. I actually had a good practice in Atlanta, Georgia. But then there's a certain pull about your country. There's a certain pull about your country. No matter how well you're doing, there are people who have done extremely well and just want to come back home. There is nowhere like home. You know, even if you live in a gutter, there's nowhere like that gutter. And that's, for me, you're just a number. In a foreign country, you're just a statistic, you're just a number. But in your country, you're who you are, and you can open doors with even little, as opposed to when you're over there. And I just saw things happening in my country, and I felt it was time, rather than me to develop another man's country, to come back and develop my country.
Now, there's still a bit of a dark cloud hanging over, you know, the time that you worked as a lawyer in America, because you were sanctioned for misconduct.
Yeah.
In effect, $25,000 went missing, and you were accused of stealing it. You were suspended, you took the fall. You've since explained what happened. According to you, a paralegal was responsible for that. I'm interested in finding out, why didn't you sort of take that case to its logical conclusion? Because I've looked and I haven't seen that you actually tried to prosecute the person responsible.
Well, well, it's good that you brought that up. First of all, it wasn't a case of stealing, like you said. It was a question of a misappropriation in legal parlance in
Misappropriation
American. It's called commingling, and I'll tell you what it is. It's called commingling. You don't mingle your funds, your clients' funds with your personal funds, which is what
different
happened.
Accounts. For different.
Yeah, you're supposed to open different accounts. You don't commingle. It's against the ethics of the profession, and they're very strict about it. But that was what happened in this case, and unfortunately, I was leaving to come back to Nigeria for my elections, primary elections, and I had a paralegal, undocumented alien, unfortunately Nigerian, who was working with me, and at the time, funds had not come in for a particular client. We were still waiting on the funds, but I had to go back to Nigeria, and I left him. With several checks, actually, to get money out and pass them on to different clients, and which he did, except for that one client. When they wrote to me, I immediately left for the United States to find out what was going on. Found out that, and the guy had disappeared into thin air. So you can only pursue something to its logical conclusion the way you put it if you can find the person. I have tried to look for this guy.
So till today, you've not.
I know where he is. I have tried to look for him, and but I put that out there. It's you might call it a blight or whatever. It's an unfortunate incident that happened. I went back personally to go and take care of it, and I'm back in good standing with the Georgia bar. I'll go to America tomorrow and practice if I want to.
I'm assuming this is a regret that you have in sort of the way the whole thing happened. Do you have any other regrets?
There will always, look, as long as you live in this world and you have a life, you will always have regrets. You know, you stumble, you fall, you make mistakes. The problem is if you don't learn from your mistakes. You know, there's nothing wrong with making mistakes. There's nothing wrong with, you know, with having regrets. But you don't dwell on those regrets. If you don't learn from those regrets, then you have a problem. I'm 53 years old. If you think I don't have regrets in my life, but I believe my regrets are probably fewer than many people out there.
Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
You've been watching Straight Talk with me, Kadaria Ahmed, and my guest was Majority Leader in Nigeria's House of Representatives, Honourable Femi Gbajabiamila. We discussed his new job as House Majority Leader, the controversy over pay and allowances of National Assembly members, and the fractures in his party, the ruling All Progressives Congress. Join me next week when I'll be in conversation with another special guest. Have a good evening.